Now we are in for a long one here. We have red-green Bombardment versus green dudes. Some kind of mid-range green with focus on the creatures. These are two guys that I've played against a few times. Carsten on the right, I've played versus, well, more times, I guess, or at least seen his deck more times at several tournaments. And these guys are notoriously known for bringing non-optimized deck. No, they're of course optimized, but they do bring some quite interesting decks often. And today's no excuse. And we have a Goblin Sharpshooter here from Tinderwall's Manor. And we do have some nice unglued forests. Whenever I look at the forests, I think the art is quite dark, so they, at first glance, I am often confused, and they look like swamps to me. But this is mono green, and we have a furnace and a, yeah, a lot of weird stuff here, and I will put that card up here on the screen so that you can take a look at it yourself. Now just playing more lands. No land drops on the left here. And nothing. And just ships to turn. Sharpshooter to the face. Sacrifice. And an elf. Another Findhorn elf. And we see a Croton Tusker. One of my favorite green cards in the pre-modern card pool. I think it's super underplayed. It's just a cannot be countered draw two cards, fixing your lands, and so on. And I know it's quite controlly, so if you are playing mid-range and control, it's a wonderful card in green, because green lacks the ability to draw cards, and this just brings that into green. And I think it's nicely done when you have a way to get it back or get it back into your library. And if you don't have that, it's a little bit worse, but it's still nice because late game it's a 6/5. That is something that is difficult to answer for many decks. Great. Well, if you play against like Moneyball Black and you have been discarded back to the Stone Ages, it's a nice top deck at least, because whatever it is, if you're able to use 3 or 7 mana, it's a powerful ability. And here we have another powerful beast in Ravenous Baloth, a 4/4 that can be sacked with life gain for 4 mana. I think that is fair stats, and one of the best looking 4-drops in green. Back here we did see a Wood Foothill, so there is another land drop. So what is his play here? And you can see down below that this is a game that will go for long. And it's an interesting one. I like seeing these not well-known decks have a go at a real tournament. I'm not sure how many was at this Whisper in the Darkness tournament. It was mainly old school, so some players, I know these two guys play old school as their primary format. They hung around and swung some cards here on the Sunday pre-modern event, but I don't know how many attended. Maybe someone can enlighten us down below of the number of attendees and maybe the top 4 or top 8 decks. That would be nice. We will see the finals, so if you haven't already, you could subscribe. You could enable notifications if you don't want to miss it, or if you just hope that it will get into your feed, consider subscribing, and you will see the finals here eventually. This is round 4 of a 5-round Swiss. We also have a quarterfinals, the semi-final. There was no game recorded there. I don't know why. Maybe the players didn't want to be on camera, and I totally respect that. I just love to have some on camera. I don't force people to be on camera, and I think if you are nervous, if you have like the camera setting getting to you in a bad way, you should just decline the invitation to be on camera. Swing with Bailoff. Down to 15. He has taken another point of damage from the fetch. And now 4 mana's tapped. And we see another one, another Bailoff. So 2 4/4 beasts. That is a frightening clock to be against. But what can green and red do against 4/4 creatures? Not a lot, it seems. If you play in this color combination, we usually see Sue, like an aggressive deck with Rancor, Lightning Bolts, and just quick, efficient creatures. Maybe a top curve of Call of the Herd is what I've seen lately. Goblin Bombardment. And here is, well, I don't know if this deck is a true deck or if it's just a brew here. Well, I guess it's put together, so it's a deck, but it's not a deck that we usually see. But Goblin Bombardment with Goblin Sharpshooter is a nice combination. They do go quite well hand in hand. And there we saw here's a Goblin Sharpshooter in hand. And graveyard is removed. So if he has Grim Lavamancer, it's out of the picture now, at least, with that furnace. I'm not sure it's relevant with the furnace. We haven't seen any clue that it is relevant yet, but he keeps using it. Instead of drawing into another card, we see a ton of tree tops in hand there. So Carsten is just going to put on pressure turn after turn here, swinging for 8 damage. 2 mana, Guy's Blessing. So this is the way that Carsten will get some more value out of the Tuskers. He will use them as early as he can and then just blessing them away, hoping to thin out his deck quite effectively. And that is an engine. I'm not saying it's the best engine in the world, but Guy's Blessing has multiple purposes. You can, if you have sideboard cards that that your opponent has killed, you can get back those. You can stop Storm from killing you, either Mono Blue Storm or what is it called, the black one? I forgot. Maybe you can enlighten us down below with a comment saying what the black and blue Storm deck is. The one with ill-gotten gains. Is it just called ill-gotten gains? It's something... I don't remember. I have a game on the channel from Danish Nationals with the deck. It's a super nice deck. Very confusing. If you do arrive to this format from Legacy, you might find that an appealing deck. Okay, he finally got rid of that furnace, removing his own Guy's Blessing. So that tells us that he doesn't rely on it, but it was nice for him to like get it through. Chump blocking with elves. Maybe shoots face. Oh, okay, so he can shoot a Bailoff. Add some mana for draws here, and he can sack those to Goblin Bombardment one at a time. Yeah, that's 1 damage to Bailoff. 2 damage to Bailoff. 3 damage because he sacks 1 and Sacks one elf to the Bombardment, and that is it for that Bailoff. And the other one was blocked, so takes no damage. Makes sense. I think that is a nice combination of pinging. It requires setup, and it requires both an enchantment and a creature, which can be difficult to have like staying in play. But he opens his... Yeah, now it's open for treetop and factory attack here. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is great here. Getting 3 bear tokens. Getting 3 bear tokens. And shooting the Bailoff, it looks like. So they are both gone. No? Okay, so one of them shoots the Bailoff. And I'm not sure that's enough. Well, I'm sure that they have talked about what happens and then took some shortcuts, which is fair. It is not like a high level of competition, but it's friendly magic with a few prizes, of course. There is something to win, but it won't make you rich. So people are gentlemen in these tournaments here, at least from my experience. Wish here. Wish is played. So he will, that's his hand, and now he goes for his sideboard. What? Masticore. Or, no, okay, he took Nanchuku. He needs to show it, of course, because it has to be a card that is actually possible to tutor for. You cannot just not show it, because you could somehow find an instant or a sorcery, and you cannot do that with the Living Wish. Karplus and Forest. No, no Forest. And what then? And yeah, of course, Carsten is at a high life total, because when lethal damage was represented with those bombardment triggers and so on, the Bailoffs can just be sacrificed. Not sure what they are talking about here. Adding 3 mana for another sharpshooter. That's interesting. So whenever he can, if his bombardment didn't go to the graveyard, he can sack a creature for 1 and ping for 2. So that's 3 damage per creature that he sacrifices. Bailoff. Yeah, he doesn't like to see that. I guess it's better than... No, I guess those are quite perfect in this situation. He doesn't play rock. If he did, he could play the 5 mana 6/5. What is that called? The one where it grows and you can protect itself. But Bailoff, a 4-drop here, quite effective. Swings with 2 bears. Block with 4 toughness each. He must have a trick up his sleeve here. By the way, I have sped up the footage a little bit, but this is some long games. Bailoff takes 2, of course. Yeah, and they untap and they could kill the wall here. The wall has 2 damage dealt to it. tapping both sharpshooters, and the wall's gone. That is a nice deck that we see here. I like this like combo potential that we see, and we see a morph, and now the white piece of paper are due to bears, and the card with its sleeve back up here is a morph, probably a Nanzuko Vigilante, as we see on the opposing side of the battlefield. While we are watching this long game, I would just say a thank you to Jesper, who is the one who recorded all these matches and shared them with me so that I can share some more pre-modern IRL tournament stuff here on the channel. I cannot go to every single event, so I really appreciate it. And if you do have a pre-modern event coming up and you want to record, and you record in a high definition like this setup here, and want me to do something with the files, you can just let me know in a comment or a message on whatever platform you're using to communicate. And there we saw a creation of tokens for beasts. Those are bigger than 2/2 bears. But again, we have seen the shooters become quite effective when they are 2. Sadly, no bombardment here for our player on the left, but still 2 great cards to have on the field together if you have the ability to block with a 2/2 and just kill it anyway. We see an unmorph of Nanzuko Vigilante. He doesn't activate the powder keg. It will kill his own beasts, and that would be a bad trait. Okay, shooting the Vigilante in the end step. Or not the end step. And another creature. 2 damage. Sacrifice, draw. So that's 2 damage on the 4/4, and it's gone. Nice. And then we see an attack for 4 damage here. But the treetops will come online, and they are... There's a lot of treetops. Another land, so now he can probably activate all the treetops. 3, 4, 5 mana. Genesis. That's 5 mana. That's 5 toughness. No, sorry, that's 4 toughness. 5 mana for a 4/4. Often better in the graveyard, but it is a potential beater. But will it be enough? And then you can kind of, with this amount of mana, just get all the stuff back from your graveyard that you've lost. A flashback on this beast creator here. It's another 4/4 on the field. Untaps. And draw for turn. "11 lands. That is a true sign of a game going long. You often see that in blue-white control, and fear that they do have a degree of silence. No, justice, that is. Oh, a bombardment. What I've called this deck. I'm not sure if the player would agree that this is called red-green bombardment, but it's a super powerful thing to do when you have these sharpshooters and a wall roots, so more mana. And looks like 1 card left in his hand.
It's only in the beginning of upkeep.
So if he wants Genesis to just stay on the battlefield, he yeah, he shouldn't attack into it. But okay, let's see what our player on the right side of the table can do here with all this mana.
What's going on? Ja,
Tree
ja.
tops are
Man
lined
kan
up.
altid spille 8.
1 mana missing for a full activation. So could activate 3 tree tops and a factory. But will he do so? He needs to connect for 6. And he has the 2 4/4s. So he will force some really awkward blocks here, it seems. I haven't calculated this, but would you go for the full swing here, or would you not? Okay, a wasteland. So he does have the full squad of tree tops able to swing.
Jeg er overhovedet ikke lurt i
He does so. 8 mana in the pool, of which at least half are green mana, so he has the right amount of mana, and he swings. He goes for it. Swing for 12 in tree tops and 2 4/4s. That's 20 damage.
mig i hvert fald. Ikke det
What
her.
are you going to do about it?
Det er over det niveau, jeg kender.
Forcing some calculations to be done at least.
Ja. Og skyde den for 1 også. Eller hvad?
Ja, lige om lidt.
Jamen, når du vil ikke bruge den der nu.
Hvad? Jo, det gør jeg.
Ja.
Så skyder...
2 damage to a tree top. Sacrifice.
Ja, ja, det er fint.
Så giver den der en.
Ja, den der havde fået...
Now he starts to sacrifice 1 to the bombardment, killing off the tree top, and now more creatures going to the bin, and he can untap, dealing 2 to the next tree top.
Og så er den væk. Yes.
Den her.
Yes.
And
Den for en, og den for en.
Yes.
another one. So he needs to split them so that they go to the bin for a double untap. And I think he's doing this quite nicely here. It looks like it looks very clean. And now it doesn't look so scary. He still needs to sacrifice some stuff. Maybe use the Nantuko for a trade, or even the Call of the Claw for a trade. He also has... And it looks like it will be in the favor of our Bombardment player here. Now putting a 2/2 in front of the Genesis. No, in front of the token. And moving stuff around here. What would you do in this situation? He can block, like jump block, and then sacrifice to deal a damage to tree top and kill the tree top, and untap and kill the beast. Then only take 4, go to 2. There are some possibilities here. But math is for blockers, and I know that he has blocked before, it looks like. Looks quite clean. Yeah, 2 on the treetop. Sack to kill the treetop. Now, what are you going to do? You can... Yeah, maybe put down in the comments if you think this was well executed, or if you would have done something else. This is why this combo feels quite OP when it's assembled. It's impressive with 2 sharpshooters instead of only 1. Wouldn't have been possible at all with only 1. And looks like it takes 4. Yeah, and that's it for combat. All the treetops are gone. The 4/4 beast is gone. There's only a Genesis and a factory to take care of later. Factory can be dealt with quite easily. If it swings, it kind of pump itself, and then it's removed with the goblins. And he swings for 5. Needs to deploy something as blocker.
Yes.
Yeah, Baloth is nice here.
Ja, for helvede.
Baloth is awesome here. He can block and sacrifice to gain 4 life, basically time walking, and makes his sharpshooters more effective. I like that. And I like that he doesn't.
Ja.
It looks like he doesn't play any manlands because he needs
Ja, jeg skal også lige skyde dig for 2.
his mana every turn.
Ja.
Gains 4, and with the onset trigger on the stack, he uses their abilities and shoots face. Yeah, and Carsten on the right here knows that he cannot
Der er
attack
ikke noget
with
på hånden eller noget.
Yes.
his factory in this situation. Swing for 5.
11.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jeg kan skyde dig
swing for 5. Then he goes to 6.
2.
Is that enough? Is that enough? He will go to 6, and he can start sacrificing his creatures for bombardment. Okay, he lives to see another day here.
Okay, så bliver jeg simpelthen nødt
Let's
til
see
bare
how
at
it goes. Wish. Now, what do you wish for here?
kan passe det på kaste tilbage. Jeg kan lidt destruct.
That's interesting.
Det er bare, jeg vil gerne se det komme tilbage.
Jeg ved ikke, hvad jeg finder.
What would you wish for here? That what could save you some life gain, maybe? But then again, it's just a matter of time.
Gamezonen vil også lidt.
Yeah, 2 wishes has been played.
Ja.
Masticore isn't bad here. He has so much mana. Yeah, Masticore it is. So much mana, so he can deal with those goblins. He needs to ping them. He needs to force some action. But again, now then he will lose the regeneration ability. Sacrificing a creature. How much is this? 1 for the creature, 2 for goblins. Oh, I made a mistake before with the life totals. He is still at 11. Is this enough?
De er ikke tabt dem der lige nu.
Jo, ja.
Jo, de er. Du er angrebet. Sorry, ja.
I'm not sure,
Du gør ikke noget. Din respons. Så går jeg til attack.
but he will probably go off quite soon.
Får jeg nok.
Okay, swing for 4 here,
Jeg siger bare gå.
or not. Does he keep it as a blocker? He keeps it as a blocker. Okay,
Der er ingen godt hold. Det er faktisk til kort, så jeg kan helt
now untap and draw.
Det gør den sådan set godt ting.
Do we have it?
Det har givet lidt op på det spil.
I think another creature or 2 more creatures will do it.
begge også noget, så jeg er bedre.
Nå, okay. Så lad os gå til næste.
Ja, jeg laver en masse.
Ja, ja.
And he packs it up. Yeah, okay, a bear would have definitely done it. He can sacrifice all his stuff and then gain some more creatures. If you are playing MTGO or Magic the Gathering online and are using a rental service, or if you want to do that, I have a link in the description for a referral and a coupon code which makes you get 30% off on your next subscription. So consider that, and onto the video.
Nu købte jeg 2.
That first game was a long one, and one I haven't seen before, since I haven't seen these kind of decks before. We see a turn 1 Furnace. I think that's not that important here, but I'm not sure. And I'll just warn you, if you do what I said earlier in game 1 with recording and sending your recordings to me, beware of light and light reflections and where the windows are and how the sun moves, because you'll see during this match a massive glare, and it's difficult to do in all venues, but in some venues you can be aware. But just so you know, I have done so myself. Like glare isn't easy to calculate when will happen. And here we see two furnaces, two mana creatures,
150 til 250,
just
så hvor
ramp
mange
on
punkter?
one side and graveyard hate on the other side. Maybe it's just for. Maybe he's just have them in his main and can't do anything about his sideboard because he has a wish sideboard. That's true. When you play wish, you need to have some ways to actually get benefits of wish. Just land drops and go. We do see some sideboard action. We see the Hailstorm. Hailstorm deals 1 to each attacking creatures, as far as I am aware. So it can be quite effective. Kind of the only green sweeper you can have. And a Sylvan. Sylvan Library is certainly a card here. And with Baloths, he knows that he can get up his life total later. And I think drawing more cards in this matchup is very important.
3 kort. Tror heller, jeg må naturalize den der.
And yeah, naturalize. It has to go. If you can naturalize a Silver Library, do it instantly, like before they go to their next draw phase. So they won't get any value out of it. And then it's out of sight. Because you will lose this slow mirror. Or not a mirror, but this match with two kind of slow decks if you let them draw too many cards or optimize with fetching when they do have some irrelevant stuff on top. Another mana dog. Looks like quite the slow start here. And we do see some beaters in the hand over at our right side. But he couldn't play them. He had to naturalize. Now the Bombardment. Goblin Bombardment is active.
Der bliver sgu wish.
And he swings for 1.
This is staying.
Ja.
Oh, did he use the mana?
Ja.
Maybe he used the mana.
En og 4.
Okay. Now a 4/4 beast. Maybe move back the lands a little bit. So they're not like online with your creatures. And now the glare is coming. You can see it in the bottom here. The glare is coming. And it's going to eat up a significant part of the playing area. Wall of Blossoms to draw. And some thinking. Not sure what's the plan here from our player on the left. It looks quite slow this time. Wall to draw. Hopefully a land. Yeah, but it's tap land, so he cannot deploy a Baloth here. But he can still attack. Doesn't do so. He could force a block of a creature and force a bombardment. Okay, he just shoots it with all of his dudes. But will he deploy a Call of the Claw in the end step here?
3, 4. Ja. Ja, det der.
That's 4 2/2s. What happened to that wall? Did he put that in his hand?
Og tage en terning med 8 på. Og så.
3. How many pairs is that? 6 pairs? Okay, so I guess the wall was in his hand somehow. I'm a little bit confused here. I am a little bit confused here. Maybe some can explain it down below. What just happened, but looks like someone is on the offense. Oh, it's 2 damage per creature. Hailstorm is clutch here. Maybe we do have a reader. I will make sure to put the card on the screen now. This is amazing. It's like the predecessor of Settler Wreckage, I guess, which became quite famous. Much later card, but getting rid of attackers like that is neat. Okay, went to his turn. Main, Wall of Blossoms, draw, no land drops, and just ships the turn. Thawing Glaciers, so this is a very controlling deck. At least after sideboard it looks like. Don't know if Glacier is in the main, but a Baloth is deployed. 4/4s are not bad, but now he does have Blossoms to chomp and ping for 1. So he can get his life total down just a little bit more. And he can, of course, block the treetops inevitably. Or, okay, he takes 4. Takes 4. Maybe he has a plan with those walls. Another Baloth. How do you get out of this? 4/4 creatures that can sack for life is quite against your plan. Quite good against your plan. Okay, Thorn Glaciers to the hand, finding a forest. This is a summer stamped forest from a tournament that was held in Denmark, in Horsens. And I don't remember what the tournament was called. Maybe just summer something was last year. Land for turn will be maybe of the forest. Of course, he goes to swing first and then think about main stuff afterwards. Okay, swings. Opponent down to 8 life. At least we can still see the life totals on the dice here, even though the glare is kind of extreme. It's just eating up the graveyard. Yeah, forest is played, and then what? Then 6 mana. What do you have for 6 mana? You have a token.
Ja, jeg har okay med liv på det der.
A 4/4, so 3/4/4 beasts. Wolf Roots. Nice. It can... no, okay, he puts a counter on it. It cannot just keep blocking a 4/4. Sharpshooter. Okay, now there's trouble. Now our player on the right is in trouble because those sharpshooters, we saw them last game with a bombardment online and a sharpshooter. Things are looking tough. Swings for 12. Doesn't want to use his treetop. We saw how that went last game. Now what? Now there's calculation going on. Guess that's fair. You are the one breaking those funny interactions with the Bombardment and Goblin Sharpshooters, so you are the one to calculate how they can deal with 12 damage, and you're at 8, so you have to at least block 2 of them. Okay, blocking all 3. Blocking all 3 creatures.
Ja. Ja.
Shooting with Bombardment and Goblin.
Bare her for 3.
And
Ja, så går den her. Ja.
yeah, it's not easy to do this.
kan skyde
Yeah.
2. Du kan skyde på
At
dem.
least he killed one Baloth, but you can of course sacrifice the Baloth to gain 4 life.
Skyde dem 2.
And he correctly did so.
Så skal
First time I played with Baloth, one of the first times, I actually forgot that you could do that in response, and
så kan jeg
yeah, it kind of lost me again.
skyde.
That is the reason they are so good.
Skyde dem på 1.
Also because they trade quite well with elephant tokens. But I'm seeing less and less elephant tokens these days.
Men ja, det næste er sådan.
Okay, now up to 18 life again. Rough. The problem here will be the clock, I guess.
Bare spil færdig.
Go.
Ja, nej. Du skal selvfølgelig tage det.
And deploying something an old school player would know here, a disc.
Jeg tager først her.
Ja.
And you have disco decks working around this ability of you pay 1, it enters tap, but you pay 1 to kill all permanent types that are in the pre-modern and old school formats. So everything except like modern stuff like Planeswalkers, and it just activates for 1. But the opponent has a whole turn to maybe draw into shadow or disenchant effects, or just not deploy stuff. So it's not coming out of nothing, even though you can maybe you can play something that untaps it, but that's putting a lot of resources into doing a board wipe.
Dig for 2.
And if you don't have black in your green deck, you cannot just play
Træk kort.
the deed, which is better in my opinion,
Skal gerne skyde der for 2.
in most cases.
Så gerne op på 1 skyde på 1.
Okay, we need to do some pinging, and we see a dice on the board, so they are going to timed rounds here, and we do see a spectator with some Adidas socks up on the right, but of course when they are the last players playing their game, people will of course go and watch, and they are in for a surprise. At least I was when I look back at this, and we see even more glare, Goblin Bombardment going to the bin. But I am having trouble seeing how they can close out this game in just a few turns.
På 3 dernede, så var der en lille chance.
Ja. Jeg siger ikke, der er noget.
Ja, men det var til sidst, så var der en lille chance.
Yeah, how are you going to do that? I don't think we will see any pump effects, and the Baloth cannot attack for lethal, it looks like.
Fortsat.
And let's see.
Jeg tror, det får en helt stor betydning.
What do you play? Okay, you play blockers. Of course you play blockers. So I have no way of seeing what that card is, the bottom one, but that's a victory for our Goblin Bombardment player. Congratulations.